All right, another beautiful Sunday is here. It's day number 15 in the month of March 2026. Good evening, folks, and welcome to Iron Port here on Metro TV. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Regional Authority, GWEL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, MPS, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA. And our media partner on this journey of a lifetime is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. Now, if you want to have a grasp of all that transpired in the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to read all that happened here on the show. Tonight, we are streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we're live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. And still on Facebook, we're live at Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are streaming live at Iron Port. Iron Port. Now, we shall be getting interactive with you as usual. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, grab your phones and send us your messages and comments ahead via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is 0538-037353. 0538-037353. And when the time is ripe and I pick signals from the production team, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. My name is Kennedy Mona. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the show. Please stay with us.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefeel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena.
You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately.
There you have it. Serena is not just a tool. It's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. Efiba is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
All right, welcome back. It's now time for us to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry over the last week by way of local stories. Please enjoy.
The Minister for Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikpe, on Tuesday paid a working visit to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to inspect ongoing infrastructure projects. The visit forms part of the minister's broader tour of agencies under the Ministry of Transport to assess progress on key operational and infrastructure developments. Joseph Nikpe was accompanied by the Deputy Minister for Transport, Dorcas Afotofe, Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Samson Ahe, as well as directors from the Ministry of Transport. The delegation was received by the Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Major General Paul Seydou Tanyekulono, the Director of Tema Ports, Tebon Zuma Esquire, and other senior managers of the authority. The minister inspected ongoing dredging works at the port of Tema, where depths are being increased from 8 meters to up to 14 meters to accommodate larger vessels. The dredging works are expected to significantly enhance the port's operational capacity. Berths 12 and 13 are being dredged to negative 14 meter chart datum, which will enable vessels up to 65,000 tons to call at the port, while berth 14 and 15 are being dredged to a depth of negative 12 meter chart datum. The development is anticipated to reduce vessel congestion and operational costs for cement manufacturing companies that rely on clinker imports. Speaking after the inspection, Joseph Nikpe said the project forms part of government's efforts to ensure that the Tema port operates efficiently to serve Ghana, the sub-region, and neighboring landlocked countries. He explained that the previous depth limitation of the port often prevented larger vessels from docking directly at Tema. He commended the management of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority for delivering on government's directive within the promised time frame.
We are happy today to be here at the port to see that actually, as promised, is delivered. We have dredged the berth 13 to 14 that is now receiving bigger vessels, and then the berth 14 is also being dredged to depth of 12 meters. This is good news for all the cement producing companies because they will no more suffer some of the delays they used to suffer when their materials arrive at the port.
The Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Samson Ahe, also lauded the authority for undertaking the dredging works, noting that the development will significantly improve the operations of cement manufacturers and enhance industrial productivity.
This is going to support the cement business in the country. We are most grateful, and I'm so happy that the minister, when he came to the Ministry of Trade last 2 weeks, he promised that within 2 weeks it will be completed and open for business. And lo and behold, it has been completed. It's open today now for business. That is how we have to partner each other to make sure that we reduce the cost of doing business and reducing the time for doing business.
The Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Major General Paul Seydou Tanyekulono, expressed appreciation to government for its continued support towards port infrastructure development. He indicated that the dredging works were progressing according to schedule and assured that the authority remained committed to improving efficiency at Ghana's ports.
The aim is to reduce the cost of doing business. So if the cost of doing business goes down, automatically the additional cost will not be passed on to the customers. Though the work is not done, it will be done by the mid-June, by which time the whole dredging would have been completed. So with this development, we are better positioned to perform our duties more efficiently than we used to when the draft was very low. So on that note, I would like to thank the government for the support in ensuring that we're giving the necessary funding and the support to make sure that this dredging took place.
The minister and his delegation proceeded to the Jamestown Fishing Harbour to assess the condition of the facility. At the harbour, the Transport Minister Joseph Bukari-Nikpe was joined by the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Emilia Arthur. Managers of the facility briefed the ministers on measures required to fully operationalize the fishing harbour, highlighting the need for dredging works to desilt the harbour basin and improve navigational access for fishing vessels. Responding to the concerns, Joseph Nikpe assured that government would provide the necessary support to rehabilitate the facility and enhance its operational efficiency.
We have noticed that the breakwater we have is too short, and any dredging that you do, it takes a maximum period of 3 to 6 months, and it is silted again. Meaning that if we do not look at extending the breakwater, every 3 months we will have to be desilting this fishing harbour, which is very expensive. That is one of the reasons why we decided to take this working visit to make ourselves available and see what we can do as government to restore and fix all the challenges.
The Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Emilia Arthur, disclosed that government was developing plans aimed at bringing relief to fisherfolk operating at the harbour and improving conditions within the fishing community.
Our interest is how to maximize the facilities here for the benefit of artisanal fishers in this country. You saw the cold storage, you saw the fish market, you saw the processing center. From here, we are sitting together and see arrangements to put in place so that these facilities will be maximized to the benefit of the people.
A high-powered delegation from COSCO Shipping has held discussions with management of the Tema port on plans to expand breakbulk shipping services through Ghana's busiest maritime gateway. According to the director of Port of Tema, Tebon Zuma Esquire, the Chinese shipping giant, already a major client of the port, is exploring the introduction of transshipment operations using ship-to-ship transfers at the anchorage.
So, COSCO Shipping undoubtedly is one of the big customers that we have around, and for some time now they've been having discussions with us to make some new services into our port. And so today's meeting was to look at how we can plan together for their next vessels to call the Tema port. Indeed, COSCO plans to do a lot of transshipment in the breakbulk services area, and we are excited to partner with them for this service.
The service, which currently operates in Guinea-Conakry, is expected to begin with weekly vessel calls and could significantly increase maritime activity at Tema.
One big issue is to have the transshipment through the STS services or STS operations. That is a big one, and it will be a game changer for the port. Currently, they do those services in Guinea, Conakry, and they intend to provide that service within our anchorage, where they will bring the bigger vessels to the anchorage and then offload into smaller vessels to feed into the Tema port, berth 1 and 2.
The COSCO delegation later embarked on a drive-through tour of the port of Tema, where they were taken through key operational areas to gain first-hand insight into the port's infrastructure and cargo handling capabilities. The visit formed part of efforts to deepen collaboration between the Port Authority and the global shipping line as discussions continue on expanding breakbulk transshipment services through Tema.
The leadership of organized labor at the Ghana Revenue Authority has visited the Tema collection of the Customs Division to engage officers and reinforce professional standards aimed at safeguarding revenue mobilization and strengthening service delivery at the country's busiest port. The delegation held an interaction with officers at the Customs Long Room before touring key operational areas within the port. including the Golden Jubilee Terminal and the Meridian Port Services Terminal 3, where a significant volume of cargo clearance activities take place. Chairman of Organized Labour at the GRA, Theophilus Ehun, explained that the visit formed part of ongoing internal engagements aimed at encouraging customs officials to adhere strictly to established administrative procedures and digital systems, particularly the Integrated Customs Management System, when executing official instructions.
Our message to Commissioner General and now to all our officers is say no to order from above. Our CJ has agreed that every order should be in writing. Reduce your order into writing, either in the system or it is written on paper and signed for it to be captured in our ICAMs.
The engagement also emphasized the importance of professionalism in interactions with clients within the port community. Officers were encouraged to remain diligent, transparent, and fair in their dealings, particularly during cargo examination and other clearance procedures that directly affect trade facilitation. The union chairman noted that the approach has the full support of the leadership of the authority and government, stressing that the Minister for Finance, Dr. Kaisel Atoforsen, has reaffirmed his commitment to allowing the GRA to operate through its established institutional structures without interference in day-to-day operations. He added that the Commissioner General has also endorsed the initiative, with organized labour pledging to support and protect officers who strictly adhere to due process and professional standards in the discharge of their duties.
Let us work professionally in this manner. Be courteous, be nice, but be disciplined, and then remain professional. No to order from above. Thank you.
The Ghana Port and Harbours Authority-GPHA has honored 8 staff members who have retired from active service in recognition of their dedication and contributions to the growth of the authority. The ceremony, held at the GPHA Clubhouse in Tema, brought together management, staff and family members to celebrate the retirees' years of service across various departments, including fire and safety, human resources, port operations, audit, estate and marine. Chairing the event, the Director General of GPHA, Major General Paul Seidu Tanye Kulono, expressed appreciation to the retirees for their commitment and professionalism during their tenure with the authority.
Most of the companies within the enclave, they have former staff of GPHA. Because anytime they come to my office, there's always somebody at least who once worked here. So that shows the kind of relationship that you had or you've been having with the stakeholders over the past. Then I want to entreat those of us currently in the system to try as much as possible to maintain it, because it's very, very important. So kudos to all of you.
The Director of Port, Tema, Tebon Zuma, urged the retirees to remain ambassadors of the authority and uphold its reputation wherever they find themselves.
When we see you like this, we are mindful that one day we will also join you and we say bye-bye. So for the period that we are here, we have to make sure that we are accountable and we do things in the interest of GPHA and in the interest of Mother Ghana.
The General Manager for Marketing and Corporate Affairs, Dr. Kingsley Intwibwe-Siako, also commended the retirees for their service and encouraged them to continue making meaningful contributions to the society in their post-retirement lives.
So just as you came in and you've left, now we have come in, definitely we're going to leave. So we'll take a cue from the good things that you did for us. So once again, we thank you very much, and we are always going to be there for you as GPHA.
The retirees, who were presented with citations and gifts, expressed gratitude to management and colleagues for the support and cooperation they received throughout their year of service.
Those who have come ahead of us have sacrificed a lot to make the port what it is today. We've also come to continue. And I believe those who are continuing to work deeply will also continue with such zeal and such dedication. We thank management so much. We will not forget this day.
The Port of Tema has taken another step towards strengthening gender inclusion in Ghana's maritime industry with the launch of the Logistics Ladies Network, a platform aimed at empowering women working in port logistics and operations. The initiative was launched on Thursday, March 5, 2026, at the forecourt of the Logistics Department under the theme Females in Maritime Logistics, Challenges and Opportunities, showcasing the efforts of over 50 female workers of the logistics section. The events brought together management and staff of the ports as well as female professionals working across operational units to highlight the growing role of women in the traditionally male-dominated maritime logistics environment. According to management, the establishment of the network represents a deliberate effort by management to create a more inclusive working environment where women can thrive in technical and operational roles within the ports. Speaking at the launch, speakers underscored the importance of supporting women in technical maritime roles and strengthening institutional structures that enable them to excel.
Logistics has intentionally created space for women operators. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has intentionally created a lot of space for women.
Let me pay tribute to the first women who stepped into this department and took their place at the machines. At a time when it was far from common, they chose courage over comfort and determination over doubt. Through their skill, resilience, and unwavering commitment, they reshaped the expectations.
It has always been the norm that as women, when we are combining or making a good home, bringing up our children well, and also making a mark in the career space, we have to extend beyond what is expected of us.
You are not here to rub shoulders with your male counterparts, but to collaborate with them so that you can learn from their experiences.
The Port Logistics Manager, Engineer Eric Afremensa, told Iron Port that the creation of the Logistics Ladies Network reflects management's deliberate efforts to expand opportunities for women in logistics operations, recognizing their strong safety record, discipline in equipment handling, and growing contribution to the success of the department.
For accident and incidents, you don't have any woman getting involved. Their alertness, their position on the machine, how swift they are, their consciousness are all key to what we are witnessing today. That's the more reason why we want to give it an encouragement so that they can do more.
Those were happenings in the port and shipping industry over the last week. We're now zooming into our discussion proper tonight. And I'm sure you would have heard that the University of Cape Coast, UCC, recently launched the Africa Ocean Institute. We want to find out what really that particular institute is and what it portends for marine research, for policy, and indeed for the advancement of the blue economy of our country. And so it gives us pleasure this evening to introduce to you our guests who are rightly in the studio and seated. Dr. Isaac Ochri, who is a senior lecturer, fisheries science and ocean governance at the Africa Ocean Institute, University of Cape Coast. Good evening, sir, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Kennedy, and good evening to our viewers.
Absolutely, awesome. Yeah. Also in the studio, Professor Noble Kwame Asare. He is an associate professor of marine ecology and processes, Africa Ocean Institute, University of Cape Coast. Good evening, Prof, and welcome.
Good evening, Kennedy, and thank you for inviting us.
Also,
good evening to your listeners.
Absolutely. Right, so let me begin with Dr. Asare and tell you, first of all, to tell us what the Africa Ocean Institute is about.
Okay, you mean,
yes,
right.
Prof,
okay,
yes,
so thank you for your question. So, as you rightly pointed out, in recent times, the University of Cape Coast established the African Ocean Institute with the approval of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission.
Right.
Now, although this institute is a new one, it was built on 2 existing centers and 1 new center, being the Center for Coastal Management, which is a World Bank recognized Center of Excellence for Coastal Resilience, and then the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences, which is also an African Union Center of Excellence for marine fisheries and coastal management, and a newly established center of a center known as the Center for Marine Affairs.
Right.
Now, the question you ask is to why we set this up, and in fact, since the 2 existing ones have been there for several decades.
That's Center for Coastal Management.
Yes, the Center for Coastal Management has been in existence for a decade. The Department of Fisheries and Aquatics has been in existence for quite more than 20 years.
Yes, okay.
And why was it necessary to form an African Ocean Institute? Of course, these three centers have different mandates, but we saw it right to bring them together because they complement each other in terms of what we do in the marine space. So if you take the mandates of a university to do with any faculty or department or center, it usually revolves around three things: teaching, research, and extension. However, the mandate may be specific to specific areas depending on what the focus of that department or center is. In the case of the African Ocean Institute, CCM has been at the forefront of advanced and demand-driven research in the area of coastal management, in the area of fisheries and ocean science. In the case of the department, we are looking at how we build capacity, and it cut across a number of areas, including fisheries science, coastal zone management, limnology and oceanography, and aquaculture.
Yes.
Now, what is missing is that at the end of the day, these two units do not really speak to each other very well. So for that reason, the things we do are compartmentalized.
Yes.
So we saw the need to harmonize the activities, and where there are gaps, where there are missing issues, bring on board a third center, which is the Center for Marine Affairs, whose primary goal is to spearhead policy interventions and also coastal community engagement. So in a nutshell, the African Ocean Institute was set up to look at challenges that exist both within the sector, the marine and then the coastal area sector, and also in terms of how we collaborate with each other and other institutions in the country to work to effect the changes that the country need. So that is what the African Ocean Institute was set up to do.
Okay, so that means the strategic gap that it is seeking to fill.
Yeah, there are a number of strategic gaps.
Yes.
So this is just the overarching.
If you can bring us up to speed.
Right, so in terms of the strategic gaps, as I indicated, the silos that we have created in the research arena is not useful to contribute to the development of the country. So it is not just within the University of Cape Coast, but also across the country. We have several research institutes across the country, and they are all doing their own thing, but we don't hardly speak to each other. So at the end of the day, we tend to repeat ourselves. We tend to be stagnated in terms of what we are doing. And also, the second reason is that there's somehow a decoupling between what research does and how it informs policy, and also in terms of the activities of the industry. So we need to find a way to bridge this gap, whereby we bring both the science, the policy, and the actions together. And so the African Ocean Institute has been set up to look at where we can help the country bridge this gap, and also to help build the capacity needed to spearhead the activities that goes on. So there are a number of gaps that we've identified. In fact, we did a lot of analysis to be able to identify the needs. So there's a comprehensive plan as to what we look at. And in terms of capacity building, there are a whole host of things. Some are existing, others are new, and we intend to talk about it whilst the discussion goes on.
All right. So I see bridging the gap between ocean and science. You mentioned the science and policy, coordinating fragmented ocean and blue economy research, building human capacity for the blue economy, addressing environmental and governance challenges in marine species, and indeed unlocking untapped blue economy opportunities. Now, I just want to find out from you, how will the Institute translate academic research into actionable policy for government and industry?
All right, thank you very much. Now, in fact, I have to go back a bit in order to answer this. Now, of course, academic institutions are set up by government for a particular reason. And that is to provide evidence-based answers to some of the questions that we need for government to plan. Now, over a long period of time, this hasn't really worked out the way we thought it would be. So what it means is that if we are going to work the way we expect to work, we need to look at the role that we play as an institution in the country. So since we are into research and therefore have to inform policy, it means that we have to find a more effective way of communicating communicating with policymakers. So there has been a lot of efforts like writing reports, sharing with government and government agencies, but at the end of the day, very little is realized from that.
Right.
So in the past, we decided to change course. So we have to work closely with some of the government agencies. One in particular is the Fisheries Commission of the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture.
Yes.
And in doing so, we have actually supported a lot of activities of that ministry to inform policy.
Right.
One in particular case is the close season, which started from, I think, 2019 until recently that was removed by the present government. But although it has been removed for artisanal fisheries, it is ongoing for the semi-industrial and industrial fisheries. So what it means is that, how did that work? It is because we wanted to work closely with the government. So the African Ocean Institute is looking to build upon that legacy where we have successfully worked with some government agencies. So we are looking at working with all other relevant agencies within the marine and coastal development space. And in this case, we are looking at Ministry of Environment and Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology and Environment. We are looking at Ministry of Water and Sanitation, Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, and others that are relevant, so that at the end of the day, we can help the government. We are also looking at setting up a national think tank for the African Ocean Institute, where experts drawn from across the country would help address issues that we identify in the space, and also to support, advise government on some of these issues, on how to move forward. We also look at how we can build capacity of these institutions, government agencies that have been mandated to more or less spearhead activities of government and also regulate the sectors that we are talking about, so that we build the requisite capacity they require in order to do the work properly.
Awesome. So you look to produce policy-focused research with the Africa Ocean Institute being the focal institution for blue knowledge, for the blue knowledge of Ghana's blue economy strategy, providing advisory services to government institutions, including ocean think tanks, and partnering with industry for industry-driven research, amongst others. Awesome. Let me come to Dr. Ochre, and if you can tell us in what ways the Africa Ocean Institute can support Ghana's ocean governance framework and maritime special planning efforts.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. So maybe just to re-echo a little that Nobo has said, I mean, for those who have had the opportunity to be in UCC, you knew about the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences. It was purely established as an academic department. And over time, the Center for Coastal Management was born out of it, which was focused more on demand-driven research, applied research, and policy engagement.
Absolutely.
And it just happened that over time, both the department and the center have achieved the recognition as African centers of excellence, as Nobo said. So the department is AU Center of Excellence, focused mainly on capacity building, while the center is World Bank designated Africa Center of Excellence in coastal resilience. I think nationwide and continent-wide is known as ISCOR, which people know very well. So essentially, we are trying to leverage on these two to harmonize and consolidate our gains continentally. The reason why the Africa Ocean Institute is born. And for those who have been in the circles over the past decade, they would appreciate that the department and the center have been very, very instrumental in driving a number of fisheries-based and ocean-based policies in Ghana. Perhaps the most famous of all that people may easily relate with is the close season implementation.
Yes.
So these are the gains that we intend to leverage.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, last 2 weeks, last 2 weeks, we had a meeting with the minister for fisheries.
Yes.
And as you pointed out now, the African Ocean Institute is being considered by the ministry as the main institution for supporting the ministry to implement the blue knowledge pillar of Ghana's blue economy strategy.
Okay.
So the strategy has been developed. It's largely done. I think the government is going to launch it soon.
Okay.
Yes, and beyond that, we have already worked in a number of ways, supporting not just Ghana, but countries within the African Union,
right,
to translate science into policy. We have supported the development of policies and domestication of international policies with the small island states in Africa. We've worked extensively along the West African coast, supporting West African government to integrate fisheries data and others. So these are things we are essentially in the game already. So, and our elevation into the African Ocean Institutes is just trying to give us a higher platform to do what we are already doing.
Absolutely.
Best,
Absolutely. I'm still sticking with you, Dr. Autry, to find out from you, because the Institute highlights untapped sectors such as marine pharmaceuticals, ocean energy, and tourism. Which of these offers the quickest wins for Ghana?
Yes, so the blue economy sector is big, right? It cuts across fisheries, oil and gas, tourism, biotechnology, circular economy, marine plastics, and all we can make out of them. Fisheries, oil and gas, we have already been a huge beneficiary over time. We just have to see how we reposition these sectors well to harness the best out of it. And that is what the blue economy strategy is mapping out. But apart from that, if you pick tourism, pharmaceuticals, and biotechnology, and then ocean energy, I personally think, based on my experience, that our quick win will be marine blue ecotourism. Myself, I've been on the sea to offshore. Just last year, February, right? So, oh wow, it's almost a year already. Yes. So I've been on the sea to explore what are really the potential marine ecotourism for Ghana, and I've made this point on a number of occasions, and also on a number of platforms that we have about 30 million Ghanaians, right? Our population is about 30 million.
Yeah.
I doubt if even let's say 500,000 of the population have got the opportunity to be at sea, right? I think every year when the Ghana Navy organizes that sea trip, you see the number of people who rush. And I have proposed that we could look at the Ministry of Tourism and Ministry of Fisheries coming together jointly to establish marine tourism program,
Right.
where they place the artisanal fishers, the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council, and other artisanal fishers at the center of it, because they are very experienced. They can help navigate to exactly where to go.
Sure.
We went out for a dolphin watch,
right,
and going some kilometers to where we have the oil rig. You see dolphin species, climbing dolphin, pantropical spotted dolphin, all of them jumping out of the water, and it was a good sight to actually see, right? So I feel that should be a quick win for us. Biotechnology and marine pharmaceutical is a bit of a medium to long-term investment.
Right.
Yes, because it requires a lot of research. There's a certain weed, brown weed, called sargassum, that every year they drift to our shores. They drift in volumes, and fishers don't really know. We don't know what they don't have use for now.
Right.
So it becomes nuisance. But research has shown that there are about 13 different products that we can make from sargassum, ranging from cosmetics to fuel to animal feed, pharmaceuticals, etc. But these are areas we still require research, and then after the research phase, we need to have some incubation phase.
Right.
And these are the areas the Ocean Institute is looking at bridging that gap, carrying innovative research that drives industry through incubation, and then working with industry to build that into industry. Pharmaceuticals, because you would have to also do some clinical trials and others.
Right.
So those are medium to long term. Yes, gains for other. And ocean and energy is really a long-term plan. Yes, because you need the right technology and investment. Last time, when we were launching the ocean centers, I was on a panel, and then I indicated that one research one vessel we need, perhaps for marine ecotourism. If you take one of these industrial trawl vessels we have at Tema Port, the price is between $2 to $5 million. Then I was told that, and you are crying, and you are crying. Ocean energy, one vessel to tap appropriate ocean energy may cost about $300 million. So those are more of the long-term gains we could be looking at. Good. So as I mentioned, so these are the areas of discussions we have started already working with the ministry. So we have established regional oceans and coastal data hub. Yes, it's a data hub portal we've established to take care of all forms of marine and coastal data collected in the region. And we are hoping that working with the ministry would help us navigate around how to harness data for policy. We need to know a number of things before the marine special, the marine protected area, the MPA we are establishing at Cape 3 Points. Yeah, UCC, we have been very integral, working with other NGOs like Yempuano to carry out research to help inform. The University of Ghana has also been very integral in this. So we will be taking advantage of all these data platforms and collaborations and expertise we have, as Nobo is saying, that bringing together expertise as think tank, yes, so that we will use the data for policy, data for innovation, data that innovation that can be translated into business ideas and incubation, etc., to support the ministry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Dr. Ochre. Let me come to Prof. Nobel and find out from you. With coastal erosion and flooding affecting port cities and communities, I just want to find out from you how the Africa Ocean Institute can support climate adaptation planning.
All right, thank you very much. But before I answer the question, there's one thing I want to add to what Isaac said in terms of the areas that we can look at as a low-hanging fruit.
Right.
Fisheries has been at the forefront of this country for, centuries, and therefore it is important to see how we maximize the benefit out of it. And that means we need to also look at the value chain of fisheries. Because the experts, he being one of them, will tell you that in this country, the value we get out of fisheries is very small. Countries. So we need to look at how we can improve the value chain of our fisheries, and that would also inure to the benefit of this country.
Yes.
Now, to your substantive question about climate issues. So, of course, African Ocean Institute, particularly through the Center for Coastal Management, has been at the forefront of dealing with climate issues.
If you can lift your microphone to get a bit, absolutely, yes,
right.
Sure.
So, African Ocean Institute, through the Center for Coastal Management, has been at the forefront of a lot of the climate issues in the country.
Yeah.
In fact, we've been working closely with government and even development agencies to look at a number of issues along our own coasts and beyond our coast.
Yes.
One of them being the Waka Recipe 2 project, which is currently ongoing. The African Ocean Institute has been at the forefront of doing feasibility studies in the Volta region, particularly to do with the Volta Basin and the Decatur area, to see how best we can provide some solutions.
Right.
Now, of course, in the past, when it comes to issues about the coast, it has been about putting hard structures in place, which for most part, it hasn't helped us very well. There are a myriad of solutions that we can fall upon.
Right.
One of which would be nature-based solutions, which in that very feasibility studies, we're looking at how we can either blend or fall on to protect our coastline.
Right.
So African Ocean Institute would continue working in that line to see how our coastline can be protected from the impact of climate change, being the coastal erosion, the sea level rise. A lot of the communities and infrastructure along the coast are being lost due to that. But most importantly, we need early warning systems in this country. Of course, we know that climate change is on the rise. The expert will tell you that once we even address the cause of climate change, it will take decades before we start seeing any reduction in the impact of climate change. So what it means that we need to be prepared for the outcome of climate change as we live with it now, and one would be at least providing early warning systems for our coastal communities.
Right.
So African Ocean Institute is in the process, has been and is still in the process of trying to develop some monitoring stations along the coast. And in our planning, we've decided that at least for now, we should have 4 stations, one in each region, to help gather information that will feed into a modeling system to provide an early warning system to complement what GMET is doing. So that is one aspect of what we plan to do as far as the mitigation of climate change is
concerned.
We also will be working to develop risk register or risk management plan for our coast. So based on the data we collect, we need to map out which areas are more prone to these impacts, so that we can inform government to put in some necessary measures to ensure that these vulnerable communities are protected somehow. So we'll be looking at all these things as ways of mitigating climate. And of course, we also build, once again, I'll bring in the capacity building because it's very essential. As a nation, we need to build our capacity in that area so that it doesn't always behove on universities to be doing their work. So we'll be building the capacities through a number of programs that are already being run at the African Ocean Institute.
Right. Right. Now, you mentioned the 4 regions where you are establishing the stations. By that, you refer to the coastal regions
The
in
coastal
the country,
regions, the
in
4
Ghana.
coastal regions,
Yes.
Volta, Greater Accra, Central, and the Western.
Western, absolutely. Awesome. All right, I'm still sticking with you. And just trying to find out what role the Center for Coastal Management plays in safeguarding critical port and coastal infrastructure.
This is an interesting question because internally we've discussed this a number of times.
Yes.
Now, what we've realized that our coastline, even though it holds a lot of value for development, usually we take it for granted. For that reason, it is not in a very good state. Now, secondly, due to climate change, it is now under the onslaught of the sea and erosion.
Yes.
So how do we ensure that these facilities, including port facilities and other infrastructure, especially now, if you go to most, in Accra, it has always been there, but now in other regions, coastal regions, you see this hospitality industries.
Yeah, so there's an issue speaking to the microphone. Yes, sure.
The hospitality industries that are springing up, we need to look at it critically.
Right.
First of all, how did they set up? Because there's a feedback interaction between the ocean and the coastal infrastructure.
Right.
What I mean is that ocean processes are affected by coastal infrastructure. When we put up infrastructure at the coast, it affects the process, natural processes. And once that happens, it starts having negative implications elsewhere.
Right.
And so a lot of the problems we see along our coast are exacerbated by our coastal infrastructure.
Right.
So we need to have proper information on how to set up this infrastructure so that they do not actually cause this secondary effect.
Sure.
Then on the feedback to our ocean can affect our coastal infrastructure. And if you go to a lot of these hospitality industries, for example, you see how the erosion is impacting on their businesses.
Right.
And it is not something that we just have to let go and see it continue to happen. So African Ocean Institute would once again come in here to provide guidelines. In fact, we all know that EIA is an important tool in terms of setting up anything anywhere, not only the coast.
Yeah.
But most of the time, we don't know whether we take that seriously. So AOI would come in to provide the necessary guidelines to help us as a nation do the things that are necessary to ensure that whatever we put along the coast would coexist with the nature without causing negative implications, without receiving what nature would also have on it.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you very much indeed. Let me come to Dr. Ochri. We're now going to do some fisheries and food security. And I just want to find out from you how the Institute's work improves, how the Institute's work can improve governance, stock recovery, and value chain development. That's in terms of fisheries.
So, yes, in terms of fisheries. So, in terms of fisheries, I mean, we are already doing a number of things to support the government.
Yes.
As I said, we participated, or we took part in a number of studies that informed the government to implement the closed season.
Yes.
And at the moment, we have also been integral in some studies that have informed the government of the marine protected area. We will still continue to work to support the government. There is still a lot to be done.
Right.
In other countries, you can't fish as much as you can, right? The fact that you can fish as this much does not necessarily mean you have to fish this much. They introduce quotas. So at the beginning of the year, every fisherman knows how much fish he or she has to catch from the sea. You may decide to transfer your quota. So I come into an agreement with you. My quota is 10,000 tons. I want to sell it to you, Kennedy. So you buy it and you can go fish on my beer. Then in that case, I cannot go and fish. We are not there yet because our fishery, artisanal fisheries, has been largely open access.
Right.
Is data deficient as it stands now. We have just a rough estimate of our annual fish catch. But even that, we collect that from about 52 of the nearly 300 and something landing beaches, right? So there is quite a lot to be done in terms of data to support the government make decisions on maybe future quota to be introduced, and we are ready to work to support the government in that light.
Right.
Beyond that, in the areas of stock recovery, so the government has implemented a number of interventions, which we are still supporting. But then you in other countries, I mean, like in the temperate, to help with salmon stocks recovery and others, sometimes they have lab, right? Ocean front lab where they hatch salmons and release into the ocean to help improve stocks. Right. We are hoping in the future, in the near future, leveraging on this Africa Ocean Institute, we establish flow through labs at the seafront, where we can carry extensive research. Over the past about six years, we have been trying to see if we can hatch cuttlefish, what they commonly call a pusna, and then rear them to at least some level of maturity, because it's very expensive fish, right? And has a lot of economic value. Unfortunately, we have not been successful. When they hatch roughly 2 weeks after keeping them, unfortunately, we lose them all.
Right.
The sardinelles, what we call eban, and the chap mackerel, and all that, we have not really had that lapse where we can rear them, hatch them, and then see how we can use them for stocks improvement. So we are hoping this Ocean Institute now offers us the opportunity for a seafront lab where we have a flow-through lab to run all this research and see how they can help improve the stocks.
Right.
On value chains, in fact, there are a few institutions, mainly NGOs, but they hold as experts. If you take the Development Action Association, and the Central and Western Regional Fishmongers Improvement Association, called SEWIFIA, they hold some expertise in value addition to fish. I think what we have not done is trying to structure this into a formal training, right? Where we can formally train people and issue them some kind of certification. So we'll see how we incorporate all this into activities of the Ocean Institute.
Right.
Thank you.
Awesome. When we return, I'll come back from you, and I'll come back to you, and then find out how we can bridge the science policy gap that has historically limited sustainable fisheries management in the country. And then we do some industry and human capital development as well with Prof. This is High on Port here on Metro TV, and tonight we are taking a look at the University of Cape Coast Africa Ocean Institute and what that portends for marine research, for policy, and for the growth of the blue economy of our country, Ghana. And indeed, we have some personnel from the UCC who are helping us unpack this particular institute and what they aim to do. With us in the studios are Dr. Isaac Ochre, who is a senior lecturer, Fisheries Science and Ocean Governance, Africa Ocean Institute, University of Cape Coast, and indeed Professor Noble Kwame Asare, Associate Professor of Marine Ecology and Processes, Africa Ocean Institute, University of Cape Coast. These are the two gentlemen we're having a discussion with tonight. Please stay with us. We're going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the show. Thank you.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefi. Goil, good energy Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena. You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately. There you have it. Serena is not just a tool, it's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. FIBA is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
You're welcome back. This is our report here on Metro TV, and tonight we're taking a look at the Africa Ocean Institute that was launched recently by the University of Cape Coast, UCC, and what that particular institute portends for marine research, for policy, and for, indeed, the blue economy, the growth of our country. With us in the studios, Dr. Isaac Ochre, Senior Lecturer, Fisheries Science and Ocean Governance at the Africa Ocean Institute at UCC, and indeed, Professor Noble Kwame Asare, Associate Professor of Marine Ecology and Processes, also at the Africa Ocean Institute, and indeed that's at the University of Cape Coast. Doc, I said when we return, I was going to ask Ivana from you how the Africa Ocean Institute can help bridge the science gap, the gap between science and policy that has historically limited sustainable fisheries management in our country. Now, before we come in, I've been told that we can activate the phone lines for viewers to call in. The number to dial is right on your screen, 0245-834980, 0245 834980. You can call in and contribute to the discussion. Pretty shortly, we shall also go into the mailbox and then bring some of your messages and share with our guests and elicit some responses from them for you. Yes, Doc.
All right. Thanks, Kennedy. So our evolution has been that we started evolving from somewhere 2010 thereabout coming when there were not much policies in the industry.
Yes.
To when we had our first fisheries management plan.
Yes.
And then the second plan, the second fisheries management plan. Now Ghana, we have a sustainable ocean plan. The integrated maritime strategy is also there.
Yes.
And we are developing our blue economy strategy. We have the co-management policies and etc. So what's happening is that now we have no excuse to do research that does not feed into policy.
Yeah.
Because we have a myriad of policies on government agenda.
Yes.
So our focus is going to be on research that provides actionable recommendations.
Right.
And beyond that, we have to strengthen the platform for policy uptake.
Right.
We started with the scientific and technical working group. At that time, it was under a USAID-funded project.
Right.
When the project ended, I mean, we are thankful to the government that the government absorbed it into an advisory committee for the commission.
Right.
So the scientific and technical committee is there. We also rolled out. Then there's a center in the department. We rolled out the conference on coastal and fisheries, conference on fisheries and coastal environment,
right,
which has later translated into the Blue Economy conference.
Right.
And during the conference, we bring the policy makers for uptake of science.
Right.
The one area we have to really emphasize is capacity building, also for policy makers. Our current minister, Honorable Emilia Atta, she is one minister that I realized when she took office.
Yeah.
She went straight onto the job.
Right.
Because I think when she was DC also for Shama, she had an opportunity to also benefit from some capacity building programs,
right,
where they went on a study tour, if I'm right, in Philippines.
Right.
So she was already adept with the issues.
Right. Yes.
And the way the policy regime is.
Yeah.
Today, there is a policy maker, tomorrow shifted here and another person comes. So we have to continue capacity building.
Right.
Yes, for policy makers to be able to uptake policy into science.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. So, Prof, let's do industry and human capital development. I just want to find out from you how the Africa Ocean Institute will contribute to training the next generation of marine professionals, marine scientists, and ocean policy experts.
Thank you, Kennedy. So the African Ocean Institute's mandates, one of which is capacity building, falls under several areas, including what you are talking about. So, of course, when you look at the industry and the sector, there are different levels of professionals that need capacity building. Now, of course, we can categorize them into three. We can look at long-term capacity building. We can look at professional capacities and also short-term capacity.
Right.
In the case of the long-term, we already have existing programs run under the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences that look at both at the PhD level and the master's level. So we have areas like fishery science, so you can do, anyone who want to build their capacity in fishery science can go all the way to the PhD level. We have aquaculture, we have integrated coastal zone management, and we have oceanography and limnology. All these are run at the master's level. Then we have the BSc, Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences, which is for the undergraduates. So that is the long-term capacity. Then let me talk about the short term and then eventually come to the professional. So in the short term, we have these short courses that we run for people who are already in the sector working, but they need touch-ups here and there, not necessarily acquiring a degree
sort
out
of CPDs, continuous professional development or something?
Yes, something like that. But in this case, it is more like a 1 week or 2 week short course. And this falls in so many areas, including GIS, Geographical Information Systems. We have climate change. We have fisheries management. We have some on the what we called the marine stresses, the in terms of pollution and the issues associated with the ocean. Now, these are only meant to provide short information gap to people who are already playing a role in the sector. But for the professionals who are at the managerial or the higher level, we are also looking at providing some capacity building for them. And one in particular, which is a new one we are developing, is an executive master's in marine policy and governance. So in that case, you will get an actual degree. It's for a 1 year period, but it is designed for people at the executive level. And there are others that are also being planned based on the needs, of course. So all these are being based on the needs assessment. So once we've completed our needs assessment, there may be others that will be developed. So what it means is that across the board, we are providing capacity. And in fact, at the Center for Coastal Management, for people who are already in the sector, going through different capacities, holding different capacities, we've trained close to 500 individuals. And this has been across Ghana and other West African region. So it means that we have the capacity and we plan to continue building the capacity of Ghanaians who are playing key roles in the blue economic sector.
Right. So I'm sticking with you. What opportunities exist for collaboration between the Africa Ocean Institute, the ports, shipping lines, and offshore energy operators?
Well, that is very good. And in fact, we've had some experience, some good, some not so good. We have made several efforts to work with the industry. And it is interesting to note that when you meet industry players, they sometimes blame academic institutions that, well, we don't know who you are training or building capacity for, because the people you train or build capacity for don't seem to fit in our sector. So what it means is that there must be a close relationship between academia and industry in order to tailor-make some of the programs that we run to suit their needs. So African Ocean Institute intends to work closely with the industry, particularly one sector in particular is the energy sector. Because now we produce oil in this country, oil and gas, and a lot of programs have been run around to feed into them. But the question is, how do they actually gel with the industry? So we need to look closely at what their needs are. So we would require that they open their doors to collaborate with us in order to meet their needs. So government too, we've been working closely with them to develop the capacity for them. So we will continue collaborating. I'm happy to say that for most of the sector ministries that are in the marine and coastal area, we have been working closely with them, including, as we've already heard, the Ministry for Fisheries and Aquaculture, the Ministry for Environment, Science and Technology, and we also even made an attempt to work with the Ministry of Tourism some time back, even though things didn't end up the way we want. We will still pick up on that. So we have the enthusiasm to continue to work closely with the regulators, the government agencies, the industry, and also the coastal communities that we want to work with. Because that is the only way we can achieve the mandate that we've been given. Without them, we have no purpose. So we need to work closely with them.
Absolutely. Doc, let me find out from you, what funding, partnerships, and legislative backing will be required to ensure that the Africa Ocean Institute delivers measurable impact?
Okay. Well, maybe let me start with the funding. So, as a public institution,
yes,
once GTEC has approved our establishment, it means we have government backing.
Right.
And of course, UCC was established by an act of parliament.
Yes.
So those legal regimes exist for us.
Yeah.
So as a public institution, we will certainly need a public funding.
Yeah.
Funding.
Right.
Yeah, it's great. We know that the government has established the Ghana National Research Fund.
Right.
We were in their office about a week or so ago, and so we are looking forward that we could harness some resources from there.
Right.
But importantly, we also need the private sector funding in the form of PPP, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and we need those resources to actually fund industry-driven research.
Right.
Yes, that at the end of the day comes back to feed the in the industry.
Absolutely. Right.
Yes, we've had some talks some time past with the GTA, the Ghana Tuna.
Yes.
Tuna as association. You know,
yeah.
some time ago, the government instructed they stop harvesting anchovies, right? Because there's light fishing in a way, and they also harvest like the small pelagics. They are not licensed, so they should. But you know, they don't harvest to sell. They use it mainly as bait.
Yeah.
Yes. So we had a discussion. There are some fish, some small cyprinodontiform fish.
Yeah.
We call them mosquito fish.
Right.
Sometimes we find them in gutters around.
Okay.
Yes, which I've worked with some of my students, and our department has worked on it to breed them for mosquito biocontrol and others. And we have the feeling that we could harness on breeding this and use as bait for the industry instead of harvesting anchovies. So we need the industry to invest in this kind of research, data, innovation, incubation.
Yeah.
Right. That ultimately comes back to feed the industry.
Absolutely.
In the areas of legal backing,
yeah.
I think, as I said, we already have some legal backing. The laws that establish the university and the Ghana National Research Fund is the law is even passed. That right now the law we are waiting to be passed is the Blue Economic Commission law, which when it comes into fruition, then all this blue wealth, blue health, and blue knowledge can be operationalized. Yes, and we also have a number of policies. As I said, there's sustainable ocean policy, integrated maritime strategy, the blue economy strategy, etc., which exists. Whereas what we don't have is coastal management policy. Even though you see it in bits and pieces fragmented with different institutions, some with EPA, some with Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Fisheries, etc. Maybe hoping in the future we could consolidate all this into one policy.
Great. We have barely 4 minutes to run, so let's do some messages now. This one is from Abeko Simpson in Cape Coast. He says, good evening to the Iron Port team. It's encouraging to see Ghana investing in an institute like the Africa Ocean Institute because the ocean economy is one area Africa has not fully explored despite our long coastlines. And Nana Bills in Accra says, Professor, research is often done in universities but doesn't always influence government decisions. How will the Africa Ocean Institute ensure that its research actually shapes policies on fisheries, coastal development, and maritime governance in Ghana?
Well, I think in my presentation, I did allude to that, but let me reiterate. So we know that in most cases that's the outcome, that it doesn't really have that impact. But we have adopted a different strategy, which is to work closely. So it is more like a co-creation. It's not we feeding them with information. We work with them to even identify what is needed by the country in order to conduct the research. So it's a demand-driven research that we are doing at the African Ocean Institute. In that case, government has vested interest in it, and for which reason the reports, when we send to them, are useful for their work. So that is how we approach it.
Okay. Wendy Ohene says, a lot of port expansion and coastal infrastructure projects are happening along Ghana's coastline. Will the Institute work directly with agencies like the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to guide sustainable port development and environmental protection?
Well, so I don't think that for the work of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, it is only one institution's work that would support it. So it is a multifaceted thing. So, of course, the African Ocean Institute would do its bit of it to help the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority with respect to the coastal infrastructure we are talking about. We have experts who have been looking at the coast and how the infrastructure along our coast are being impacted, including ports facilities, and we do a lot of stakeholder engagement to understand from their perspective how that also impact them. So that is how we contribute to the knowledge building and also to the policies that we eventually inure to the benefits of these communities.
Absolutely. All right, so we have 38 coastal states in Africa. How can Ghana position itself as positioning herself, so to speak, as a continental hub for ocean research and policy advisory?
Well, Ghana...
Just in 30 seconds.
Yes, so Ghana has been doing a lot of work at the forefront of ocean-related issues. And as I indicated earlier on, Ghana has a history of fishing. I mean, along the West African coast, I think no country has a longer history of fishing than Ghana. So we are already at the forefront. So what we have to do is to build upon that to be able to be a voice on the African continent and internationally when it comes to the issues of coastal and marine issues.
Okay. Doc, how do we ensure that research outcomes influence real investment, job creation, and sustainable coastal development? In 30 seconds. And we wrap up,
good. So we have to make the industry central in our research. So our research should now refocus on industry-driven research and policy-driven research, aligning our research with policy. And last year or two, we started working on creating the coastal incubation hub, mainly for coastal and ocean-based businesses that would emerge from the blue economy. So we should be working with the industry on this to build and develop this so that it ends up in job creation.
The Blue Economy Commission, I think you mentioned something like that. We're waiting for the law to be passed. How soon do we expect this to be done?
I'm not sure, but when we had a meeting with the minister there at that time, it looks like she's trying to put some form of a certificate of agency on it, trying to get Parliament to put a certificate of agency on it so that it can be passed. So let's hope it doesn't.
But I must add that even though the commission itself hasn't come to full completion yet, the strategy itself is already being implemented in one way or the other under the office of the president. So I think we are not waiting for the commission to be ready before we start implementing.
Awesome. Great. So Professor Noble Kwame Asari is Associate Professor of Marine Ecology and Processes at the Africa Ocean Institute, University of Cape Coast, and indeed Dr. Isaac Ochre, Senior Lecturer, Fisheries Science and Ocean Governance, Africa Ocean Institute, University of Cape Coast. Gentlemen, thank you so much for making a day. Tonight we've been taking a look at the Africa Ocean Institute of the University of Cape Coast, which was launched a few weeks ago, and what that portends for marine research, for policy, and for the growth of Ghana's blue economy. And we all can't wait to see the Blue Economy Commission come alive, and we see how best we can all, gain and maximize its potential for the benefit of Mother Ghana. We thank you so much, gentlemen, Prof. and Doc, for coming. We know that you came a long way, and we are deeply grateful that you obliged us. We are deeply, deeply grateful, profoundly grateful. And we know that that's when topics of this nature come up and we call on you, you would always heed our call and oblige us. Deeply grateful. I want to say a big thanks to our sponsors as well: Ghana Revenue Authority, Guel PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, MPS, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. Remember, the show is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA. We entreat you to keep watching the rest of our programs here on Metro TV and make a date on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. to watch the abridged version of Iron Port on Ghana Television, GTV. God willing, next week we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of your favorite Iron Port program. My name is Kennedy. Mona, I wish you a super and blessed week ahead, and we thank you so much for choosing us. To those who texted, we thank you. We're deeply grateful, and God willing, we shall meet again next week. Stay strong and remain blessed. Thank you. We are out.